September 11th, 2001, I was sitting in my cubicle on the 11th floor of an office building in downtown Greenville, South Carolina. I was chatting frantically with my New York City coworkers, trying to figure out what in the world was going on. Short time later, we would all watch as the two towers fell, and our world would never be the same. I didn't know it then, but my own life was about to experience a very similar tragedy. 2 months and a day later, in my personal life, the first of my 3 towers fell. But I get ahead of myself. In the time leading up to this, I was on top of the world. Here I was, a 30-something technology geek. I had a job at a billion-dollar corporation. I'd worked my way up from the help desk to the director of internet technologies. I was important. I was a man in his prime with the ego to go with it. I was invincible. However, I had a dirty little secret. A secret even from myself. While I appeared successful, I was a drifter. I had no real plan other than work hard, get promoted, make more money, repeat until you die. And boy, was I ever working hard. 80, 100-hour weeks. I once did a 140-hour week once. It's 20 hours a day for 7 days. There was no life balance. There was no plan. It was just do what you can. And so, 21 years ago to the day, November 12th, 2001, began the shattering of my life. My first tower fell. It was on that day that I moved out and a horrible year-long divorce began. My crazy hours and fanatical devotion to work had finally destroyed my family. I had a sad realization that I had sacrificed my family and my soul on the corporate altar. And what's worse is I didn't know why. What was the point? As I said, I didn't have a plan other than work hard, get promoted, make more money, repeat until you die. But not really knowing what else to do, I kept saying yes to work because that's where I was important. Until January 2002, my second tower fell. As the tech bubble burst, I, like so many other people, was laid off from my job. I wasn't important anymore. But I realized even in my job, I didn't have a clear purpose. There was no long-term thing that I was after. I was just saying yes to whatever the technology flavor of the week was. So even in my job, I was drifting. Then in February 2002, less than a month later, my third tower fell. My father took his own life. Now, my mother and father divorced when I was 2, and my father joined the Air Force. So as a child, I hadn't gotten lots of time with him. But as an adult, I was starting to make more of a connection. However, with work and kids and life, it just wasn't a priority. I let time with my father happen whenever it could, until it couldn't anymore. When it came to time with my father and family, I could just never say no to work. It's easier to say no to family because they'll always be there, right? Till they're not. So I was drifting. My 3 towers were nothing but rubble. In the short span of 4 months, I had gone from being on top of the world to having a shattered life. I was alone. I was unemployed and unimportant. And my self-delusion, there would always be more time, evaporated with my father's death. And I'll be honest, I lost myself. I lost my mind for a while. But clawing my way back to sanity made me ask, what is this all about? Why am I here? What's my purpose? So I went searching, because I never wanted to have the pain and trauma that came with a life out of balance ever again. So I studied, I read, I went to seminars, I took classes, workshops. And in my searching, I found and created frameworks for life balance, systems for success, methods to achieve goals. But most importantly, I found that there are two personas, two archetypes that rule our destinies: the drifter and the commander. Now, the drifter is who most of us are by default. I first heard of drifter in this context in the book by Napoleon Hill, Outwitting the Devil. We may be busy, may even seemingly successful, but we are rudderless. We're adrift on the sea of life. So what is a drifter? A drifter is someone who doesn't have a personal purpose. They may start many things, but they finish very few. They're always saying yes to please everyone, or simply out of laziness. They complain constantly about being burned out and stressed because they're stretched too thin. This is drifting. It's going with the flow of life, and I can tell you that does not end in a good place. So in my searching, I'm like, so what is the opposite of a drifter? Well, it's someone in command of their life. See, the commander, it requires determination. It takes energy to create order from the chaos. It's not an accidental or random creation. It is purposeful. So who is a commander? A commander is someone with a powerful personal purpose. They're an inspiration to everyone who encounters them. They know their own mind and they use it at all times. And they understand that service to many is what leads to greatness. And most importantly, they know how and when to say no, and it is often. So how do we power this commander state? Because I think we've all been through the New Year's resolution farce, where we want to make a change, but our willpower lasts a week, maybe two, sometimes just hours, right? Well, see, the power plant behind the commander persona is purpose. True, powerful, passionate, service-oriented purpose. Well, if purpose is so important, how do we find it? Well, there are three ingredients to a powerful personal purpose. The first is to define your ultimate success. The next is to define what your passions are. And the third is to find your lighthouse. So let's talk about that. First, define ultimate success. Now, we would think that defining ultimate success should be easy. It is not. Whenever I'm coaching someone, the very first thing that I take them through is the exercise of defining ultimate success. But here's the catch. We have to define ultimate success for all areas of life balance. Because, see, we're used to defining ultimate success for money, or for our things, or maybe even for our physical bodies. But have you defined ultimate success spiritually? Have you defined ultimate success mentally, or for your family, friends, or making a difference in the world? That's different. Now, every time I do this with somebody, I do it myself as well. See, I know my ultimate success. Now, the second ingredient is passion. What are your passions? Now, usually, discovering what our passions are is not usually terribly difficult, but I challenge you to take as much time with your passions as you do with ultimate success. Take the time to go deep, because our personal purpose is not found flippantly. So what do you love to do? What are your natural talents? What do you do that takes time and energy and effort, but never feels like work? What makes time just disappear? Now, see, in high school, I was as shy as the day is long. I'm an extreme introvert, but I have a passion for teaching and touching people's lives. And I learned that I could get on stage, and that I could talk and touch people's lives around the world. And my life has never been the same. I found my passion. Now, the third and final ingredient is a lighthouse. We must find our lighthouse subjects. So what mistakes have we made, often painful, that we can share with others so they don't do that? What warnings, what guidance can we share? I remember I had a coworker, Tom, and he had just had a brand new baby girl. She was adorable. She had those big cheeks that you just went, it's fantastic. But I noticed that he started working more. I was getting emails at 2 a.m. He was taking on all the most challenging projects. He was just working like crazy, and I started to get this kind of worried feeling. So I set up a meeting with him and just said, hey, I noticed that you've been working a lot more. What's going on with that? I'll never forget. He said, well, I have a family now. I need to work hard, get promoted, make more money. In the back of my mind, I thought, repeat until you die. I'm like, no, watch out for the rocks, right? I was like, no, don't do that. And I shared my life balance lessons, the mistakes that I had made, and I was able to keep him from doing the same thing. I had found my lighthouse. So our personal purpose is a combination of our ultimate success, plus our passions, plus our lighthouse. And understand, it's a process. It's not magic. It's not overnight. But whenever we have a decision, big or small, we have a guiding star. Will this enable my passions? Will this let my lighthouse shine? Will this lead me towards my ultimate success? And no more drifter answers, okay? No more, yeah, I guess, I don't know, maybe. No. It's time for the commander. It's either hell yes or no. So we must all take command of our lives. We must all stop drifting. I paid a terrible price for my drifting, and I don't wish that on any of you. We must find our personal purpose, what I call your quest. And see, I want to thank everyone here because my personal purpose, my quest, is to help you find yours. My hope is that I give you the courage to start this process and the confidence to continue. Because, my friends, it is time to take command. Thank you.